Hey everybody, it's Mike, and I am gonna actually check real quick to make sure the streaming is actually working. I just got a new computer, got some, had to reinstall software, and let me see. Hopefully it's on. If you're out there and you're watching, please give us a comment. Let us know you're out there. This is gonna be a pretty detailed, in-depth, a little bit longer video talking about the Tesla Cybertruck, really everything you need to know. So much has happened, and this truck was just released about 11 days ago on the 21st of November. So, you know, even I say at the initial unveiling, a lot was not known. I did a live stream on my own channel here. If you go to digitalnomad.net, the YouTube channel, you'll be able to see the live stream and the commentary that I did, because it was pretty interesting, and I was shocked. And if you watch that video, you'll see that I was shocked at the design. And so we're going to go into not only the design, but why the design, why does it look like it does? Is this thing going to work? And basically anything and everything you can think about it, including the specs on the unit. Let me see. I'm going to scroll back. And actually, I'm looking at my own Facebook page right now. You may be watching it on one of my Facebook pages. You may be watching it on my personal timeline. You may be watching it on a group. And it may or may not be a Tesla group. It may be like a Rivian group, because this is important information to know, I think, for anybody that's involved with these types of things. And let me know if the camera's right too. Like I said, I got a new computer set up here. And one last check here to make sure. Oh, yeah, there it is. There's me. I see myself. And actually, I look way better on the Facebook than I do on this image that I'm looking at. It looks totally washed out right now, but I see there is color in my face and everything else, so I'll just leave it the way it is. So let's get into it. First of all, if you guys are not familiar, what is the Cybertruck? Well, I got a few images. Sorry, that kind of threw me off in the beginning here. A few images of the Cybertruck, and this is the one that's on our Cybertruck group. And if you want to join our group, go ahead, please do. It's right on Facebook. It's on the link on this video, the title of the video, all the way to the right. This is what the Cybertruck looks like. It looks like a triangle on wheels. Okay, that's basically the best way I can describe it. And I was shocked, as is everyone. I think everyone, when they first saw it, they're like, what is this? Who's going to buy it? What, is this a joke? I think initially people thought that the launch was a joke. All right. But I don't think it is. I think that it's a very unique, intelligent design, and a really interesting way of launching a product in a way that kind of, just like Tesla is a disruptor for the automotive industry, I'd say that the company itself is a disruptor, but the method that they're using to launch their products is also disrupting the industry. So let's get through my notes here. All right, we were unveiled on the 21st of November, 2019, 11 days ago, because this video is being made on the 2nd of December. They're saying that production on this truck will begin in 2021, and of course everyone was just shocked at what it looks like. And why does it look this way? All right, now first of all, what you got to understand, and I'll try to pull up some pictures, is the most important. I'll do some more videos on this in the future to talk more about it, but the most important thing you got to understand is that the amount of energy that the average electric vehicle can carry on board, okay, meaning its batteries, which are between the two wheels, is significantly less than the average gasoline or diesel vehicle. It probably carries, even with the large batteries that Tesla has right now, that are available now, I'm not talking about what's in the future, about half the amount of energy. So because of that, you have to have like the most aerodynamic shape possible. And if you go back and look at, you might wonder, why does the, let's see, Tesla Model, I have the Tesla Model X. So let me actually go over to that group we have. Like I said, please join the Tesla Cybertruck group that we have. The link is in the title of this video. So here's the Tesla Model X. I have the Tesla Model X, and it has a teardrop shape that, of course, is sloped in the front, but in the back it does not get squared off. You see how it kind of slopes again? Like the back could almost be the front if it was going in reverse. And that's because that is the most aerodynamic shape available, is that type of a teardrop shape where you don't have a squared off back. So whenever you have a squared off back on anything, whether it's a tractor trailer or a pickup, actually a pickup truck is squared off, but an SUV, traditional SUVs have squared off backs, right? Well, that is not what's best for efficiency, so you're going to feel it in terms of what you can do per unit of energy per mile. And like I said, considering that electric vehicles right now carry about half the energy on board as do internal combustion engine vehicles, you've got to take that into consideration. You've got to make it as aerodynamic as possible, even if it affects the cargo. So like on an SUV, that's where it's really going to affect the cargo. On a trunked vehicle like a Model 3, Tesla Model 3 and Model S, that will actually probably give you more trunk room, more like a hatchback, right? But on an SUV like Model X or Model Y, you're going to have less room than you think. So how does this translate into a pickup truck? Well, let's go back again and look at this. On the back of that CyberTruck, and I'm going to pull up the Facebook group. Please go ahead and join. We've got about 4,500 members in this Facebook group already. It is the largest CyberTruck group on social media that I'm aware of anyway. So let's, I've got 6 member requests right now. All right, let's get that image right here of the truck. So the front of the Cybertruck is sloped. Let's see, right there, like a triangle, right? But the back is also sloped. Now why? Now, I mean, you're supposed to have a cargo bed back here for a pickup truck, right? Well, there is a cargo bed. You can see where the glass ends on row 2, second door. That's where the cargo bed begins. And there is what's called a sail pillar. Okay, sail pillar. The Honda Ridgeline is kind of famous for this, having the sail pillar. And what it does is it's part structural. I think for the Honda Ridgeline it was originally structural, but when they redesigned it most recently in the most recent generation, they took it out, which is good. I guess they didn't really need it, but and it turned away some traditional buyers. But the sail pillar is something that is structural, I'd say, in this model because it's a unit body, and the Honda Ridgeline is the only other large-scale pickup truck that they've ever been made that's a unit body as well. Most of them are body on frame. So the sail pillar is also aerodynamic in terms of the Tesla. Because as we mentioned, you have to be as aerodynamic as possible if you want to get a decent amount of range out of an electric car. You have to be. Any car that doesn't look super aerodynamic as electric is going to really suffer when it comes to range. Take, for instance, the Bollinger. That's a pickup truck that might be a competitor here to the Tesla Cybertruck. It has terrible range. I mean, it costs like $100,000 and it has horrible range, like 200 miles, I believe, that's all it can do. And the Rivian 2 may have some other similar issues with range. And I think the way they got around it in the Rivian is the truck is smaller. The bed, I believe, is only 4.5 feet long. It's smaller all around. It's like a 7/8. It's like the original Toyota Tundra that I had. I bought one of those in the year 2000. But you know, it's gonna suffer, that's for sure. So let's go down to the next bullet point on my list, and that is branding. Okay, this whole thing that Elon Musk has done is just like an amazing exercise in clever branding. All right, we haven't even gotten into the truck yet, but look, the thing looks ridiculous. I mean, it just does. I think it's growing on people, and I think that it'll be really eye-catching. Anyone who wants to put graphics on this truck will get a lot of looks when it comes out in 2021, and my guess is probably not till the end of 2021. So don't hold your breath on that. Maybe 2022. And if you're in line, they have almost 300 reservations. It may be 2023 to actually get to drive one around. So the branding has been done. It's amazing. They gave it a special name. It's got the special look, all stainless steel, like a DeLorean back from the 80s, if you remember that. All stainless steel exterior, and it's supposed to be purposeful as well. And not only purposeful, meaning that you don't need to do much maintenance on it, and that it is virtually undamageable. But the other thing about that is that it makes the vehicle much less expensive to produce. When you have an exterior unit body structure like that without extra metal and paint, extra sheet metal and paint, it just cuts down the cost of production. So that is another thing that they have done here with Tesla, Elon Musk, everybody, Franz, the designer, that really makes it unique. Now, if you did watch the unveiling, and you can go watch my comment on it on this channel if you want to watch it again, but you'll notice that Elon Musk broke some windows. It's supposed to have some special bulletproof glass, and apparently they tested on it, and apparently it's not working right, or they tested it too much and it broke. But either way, that's another unique feature of the truck. None of these no existing full-size trucks have any of these features. Rivian is not saying they're going to have any of these features. And what's also amazing to me is that they kept this whole thing under wraps for as long as they did, and nobody found out about it because nobody had any idea. There were no leaks at all. All right, so when you combine all that, the looks, the structure, it's just it looks like something out of the future. Elon Musk promised a Blade Runner type futuresque design, and that's what he delivered. That's exactly what was produced, or at least if that's going to make it into production. And like I said, I think that initially people thought it was a joke, including me. But I also think that now, as time goes by, we're like, yeah, this is a truck. This is really what's going to be produced. And another thing to consider, like I mentioned, the aerodynamics in the beginning, is that you have to have that shape, a teardrop type shape, or in this case triangular. It doesn't have to be smooth necessarily. You can still make a really, really aerodynamic vehicle with lots of angles, and that's what they did. I guess it's the one way they're going to market and differentiate between their traditional type car vehicles, SUV vehicles, and like purposeful work trucks. All right, now let's talk about the performance. Okay, we're just really talked about the looks and the branding so far. The performance is better than anything out there. As Tesla says, they want to have the sports car performance in a truck package, and this thing is big too. Remember, this may or may, if you have a garage, it may or may not fit in your garage. It may or may not fit into a public parking garage. It may or may not fit into a typical parking spot. It may overhang. It's considerably longer than all other Tesla cars, including my Model X. It's probably like at least 10 to 15 inches longer in length. So, hey Garrison, how you doing? I got a comment there. If you want to talk to me, by the way, I can get your comments, but go to the YouTube channel, digitalnomad.net. You'll find the live stream right there on the YouTube channel, and please just go ahead and type your comments there. If you type them somewhere else, feel free to type somewhere else, tag your friends, whatever, anybody who wants to learn about the Cybertruck, but I won't be able to read them unless you go ahead to the YouTube channel and type it in there. All right, performance, it's fast. It is like the fastest truck out there. The top, it's got 3 levels. It's got like base, mid-range, and high-end, I'll call them. And the high-end can do 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds. I think the low-end, which is only 2-wheel drive too, is under 6 seconds, I believe. So anything under 6 seconds is still pretty fast. I mean, Tesla doesn't make any slow cars, and that continues on to the trucks. They don't make any slow trucks either. The range, depending upon whether you go with base, midline, or performance, anywhere from about 250 to about 500 miles. I have 250 on my vehicle, and I'd say that is the absolute minimum. Actually, 259 from the factory, but I've lost some with range degradation. That's the absolute minimum for towing. 500 is more like it. That's what you really need, because you figure your range is going to be cut in half if you're towing, and you're going to need to stop twice as often because your range is cut in half. So you've got to get much battery pack as you can. Okay, Garrison, I heard the Cybertruck is amazing for design and speed. Yep, absolutely. It really is. It's shocking. The design is shocking, but once you get over that, you realize, you look at the numbers, and then there's the cargo box. It's 6.5 feet, Elon says, and it has a retractable tonneau cover that is very secure. It looks very secure. You can even mount a solar panel option on there for additional 15 miles of range, leaving it out in the sun every day. But it's a tonneau cover. It's secure. I'm hoping it's waterproof. I guess it is. And so it's got the 6.5 foot box that's required for American branded pickup trucks to compete in that area. So the Rivian is falling way short. My guess is, I don't know, Ford and Rivian have a partnership. Hopefully Ford will get, I don't know, their mechanicals, if they know how to do them right, because they haven't even manufactured anything yet. But hopefully if Ford gets that thing, they're going to put it in a typical F-150 body that's going to be the same size as the Cybertruck. Otherwise, they're not going to be able to compete with their electric truck. And I think they know that now. And this also may be why Tesla waited so long to unveil. They didn't want to give anybody else any more of a head start than they needed to. And they're already way ahead of everybody, and this just puts them even further ahead in going into the truck category, if you ask my opinion. All right, the self-leveling air suspension. It's going to be the only full-size truck that has this standard. Now, there may be other full-size trucks with self-leveling air suspension. Let me know in the comments if you guys know about that. But as far as I know, there's nothing that's standard across the board. All models are supposed to have this air suspension, which is amazing. I have it in my Model X, and of course, eventually it's going to break. But all suspensions break, but it's great for what it does. Just keeps everything level. And of course, if you saw the unveiling, you notice that they could drive something up in the back of the truck on a ramp, which turned out to be the tailgate that forms into a ramp door, and we'll get to that in a minute. But they can drop the suspension down much lower on the back and keep it higher in the front. And by doing that, they create, just a much easier, more navigable environment for driving things up into the back of the tailgate, or even lowering it. And maybe it's even a dump body too. If you've got loose stuff in there, I don't know if it'll work like that, but I'm sure that Tesla could also program my Model X to do that too, and maybe they will in the future. Who knows? All right, now the ground clearance. That's another thing. My Model X has no skid plates. It's just plastic underneath, like all Teslas, which is really aerodynamic. If you've ever looked under a Tesla, the bottom is just as aerodynamic as the front. So it's unfortunately it's plastic panels. There's no skid plates, but maybe there will be metal skid plates on this Cybertruck. I hope there will be. But Elon's promising up to 16 inches of ground clearance in the maximum height. I don't know what that translates down to. Maybe you drop 3 inches to the middle, so we're at 13. You drop another 3 down again, you're at 10. But if that's 10 minimum, even at the lowest setting, that's pretty good. And maybe it'll be more of a range than that. I don't know. But 16 is probably going to be class leading. I don't think anybody can do that without a lifted body kit and extra big wheels and tires on there, to increase the lift of the whole truck off the ground. So that's an amazing feature of that if you plan on going off-road. Now, 3,500 pounds payload, they don't say, but I think every truck has 3,500 pounds payload. I think a lot of these 150 or half-ton trucks are more like 2,000 pounds of payload. So they're already going to be, if they can do that in the base model, they're already probably going to be ahead of everybody else. Let me know in the comments if you know the specs on that. But either way, none of these, the point I'm trying to make here is that none of these specs are deficient. They're all really, really competitive, if not the best in their class in every category. And if you followed Tesla for some time, you know that that's pretty much what they do when they launch a car. There's somebody whose name I can't read. I'm in India. Hello, thanks for watching from India. India, you probably, are you interested in these Cybertrucks? Let me know. Let me know in the comments there. I'm guessing you are. And what part of India too? Let me know. All right, now the payload. Now the other part about this performance and specs is the size. Like I was saying before, I'm concerned that it's not going to fit into a normal parking spot. You may not be able to drive it into parking garages. You may not be able to get it into your garage. And then the other part that goes along with that is, and we'll get to this a little bit later, what's going to happen with the supercharging network? Because a lot of these superchargers, they're all drive-in, and you have to park your car. You can't even have a trailer when you drive into all of the superchargers, really. There's no drive-through superchargers. If you know what I'm talking about, a gas station, diesel station, those are drive-through. You just take your vehicle, you drive right through, you fill up, and then you keep on driving. There's no backing up, turning around, disconnecting your trailers, or anything else, unless you're in a weird situation. But the way the supercharger network is set up right now, and really all fast chargers for electric cars, they are not set up for driving through. They're set up for parking, backing in, maneuvering. Some of them are tighter than others. Tesla has a design where they actually have a charger on either side of your parking spot where the lines are, and it is so tight. I have seen damage to cars and seen people hit these things before. And I don't think there's any way that a Cybertruck is going to be pulling into these spots. So Tesla, they're saying it won't be ready till 2021, probably the end of 2021. So we're thinking like 2 years from today, maybe earliest ones come out the line. They'll start probably installing some drive-through superchargers, which I cannot wait for because I'm towing myself. I'm like the only one out there doing long-distance towing. If you want to see the videos, check out the channel at digitalnomad.net. I got a video there about my 1,000+ mile long-distance towing trip with over 4,000 pounds of weight. So check that out. Anyway, we'll get to that later about the superchargers. That's another point to bring up. Like I said, this is a long video. We're going to discuss everything. Now, the competition. Who is the competition for this? Right now, I've had 11 days to think about it. I think that there really is no competition, really. Assuming that Tesla can come out with a supercharging network that will allow you to supercharge when towing, or make sure that all these Cybertrucks are going to fit into without any problem. And like I said, I think that they will. But let's assume that for a minute. We're going to assume that going forward, unless we get to the point where we're going to talk about the superchargers and why I think there's maybe some issues there. So the competition is Rivian. That's the name everybody knows, right? And if you're watching this in the Rivian group, say hi, give us a comment. The more I look at these specs, and our Rivian group also is one of the largest Rivian groups on Facebook, if not the largest. And I was really interested in the Rivian. Something I noticed when it first came out, you Rivian people may know, is it looked very conservative, very traditional, boxy looking truck. And actually, let me go to my page on Facebook where I can pull up an image that I showed of why everybody looks the same and Tesla looks different. In case you haven't figured that one out, here it is. Okay. Here's the image. You see, everybody here is like your box, your square box. It's hard to see that, I know. Your square box with a open bed in the back, and the Tesla is just totally different. This is all in black and white too, but you get the idea, right? There's the Honda Ridgeline at the bottom, Rivian's not even in there, but Rivian looks just like these traditional pickup trucks. And that's part of the problem, is that they didn't take any risks. Let me fix the focus on that. Rivian didn't take any risks with the styling, and they went, like I said, original Toyota Tundra, Generation 1 2000, with the 7/8 size, but actually it's even smaller than the Toyota Tundra. If there's really a 4.5-foot bed, and you Rivian people, let me know, is it 4.5 feet long? Because that's really going to hurt Rivian. All right, Atlas is the other one. We had the CEO from Atlas give us some input recently on towing and with electric vehicles and some of the points that I made a video about that. Check out the Atlas vehicle towing, something like that, in my YouTube channel at digitalnomad.net. Learn about that. But Atlas looks pretty good, but unfortunately, there's so much unknown. I know there was so much unknown about the CyberTruck last week, but right now there's a ton that's unknown about Atlas. All right, and we don't know. There's some really good possibility there for a great truck. I think they can easily outdo Rivian if they're paying attention. And now, how they're going to compete with Tesla, I don't know. Go to the next one. Bollinger. Okay, none of these people have any charging networks too, so you got to remember that. Bollinger electric truck, just outrageously priced, weird looking, like old 70s looking. Toyota's futuristic, like sci-fi from the 80s type looking. The Bollinger's just like old 70s looking, if you ask me. Nothing special. And for the money, you expect a huge battery pack with a huge range, and you don't get that. So I don't think that the Bollinger is going to be any competition. Now Ford, Ford put out a video where they towed a train. I don't think was that an electric truck? I don't even know. But Ford supposedly, has been the best health of the traditional American car companies that are still left. I don't know if they partnered with Rivian. If they did, they're in trouble. If they're using that small platform, they're really in trouble, especially with the Cybertruck right now. Anybody else know anything about Ford? Let us know. I don't really have anything with groups on for Ford here on the internet, because I view them more as a legacy manufacturer that has so much of all their not only their mindset, but their money, their profits, and everything into the traditional ICE manufacturing. So I am having a hard time taking them seriously. Just like anybody, even like BMW, Mercedes. I know they say they're trying. Same with VW, but I still have a hard time taking anybody like that seriously. All right, the person from India, very nice speech. Good, thanks for the compliment. Okay, Dan Cashmere. Until it's a thing, it's not a thing. What are you talking about, Dan, with a thing? I had said so many things here. Let me know a little bit more detail on that, okay, Dan? And thanks for your comment. And again, if you guys want to comment on this video, please go to adigitalnomad.net, the YouTube channel. Comment on the YouTube. You can always tag your friends on any other platforms you're watching this on, but I'm not going to get the message unless you go to our YouTube, adigitalnomad.net, and type me your question there or your comment. Now, next big item with the truck is the price. Elon Musk shocked everybody. We were all expecting a $49,999 starting price. Everyone was. Even Tesla said that it would be under $50,000. But nobody thought it would be $39,900 like they're actually selling the base model for. It's a rear-wheel drive truck, but all the Americans, I believe, have base models, the traditional American ICE nameplates, just rear-wheel drive trucks. So that was an incredible shocker that they were able to cut the price down. It's just barely more than a Model 3, barely more than a Model Y. You get a full-size truck with a tremendous amount of capability. You don't get all-wheel drive, but if you're in a hot climate, you probably don't need it. So that's amazing. The base truck, $39,999. The next mid-range truck, which is all-wheel drive and greater range, is $49,999. Okay, and then the top of the line, 2.9 seconds there to 6,500 plus mile range. I don't know what they're going to get on the range. Is $69,999, $70,000, which is unbelievable because the Rivian truck, as we talked about, much smaller truck. I think the one thing that Rivian has over everybody else is they have quad motors, I believe. But if you have a much smaller, less capable truck that costs a lot more money, I don't think that's going to be a sales success. I know that Jeff Bezos and Amazon has put money into Rivian, but I have a feeling that if Elon Musk can really pull this off, they're not going to get much in the way of sales. So if you can get a fully loaded, ridiculously specced out truck for $70,000 minus one motor, that's much more capable too. So, all right, another thing that the truck can do, like most full-size trucks, is it can be used as a stationary power source. Now, if you check the warranty for Tesla right now, I believe it voids your warranty if you use it as the current vehicles as a stationary power source, or somehow may impact the warranty. So read the fine print if you don't know what I'm talking about. But these trucks apparently will not void the warranty, and they will be set up so that you can use them with regular, I don't know, 110, 220, whatever the outlets are going to be. If you guys know any specs on that, let me know, but I think a lot is not known about that right now. All right, the other thing is there's no paint. It's stainless steel, right? We talked about that. So it's a huge departure from the way things have been done, but if you think about it, full-size trucks, and this is a full-size truck, are really just workhorses. Yeah, there are some people that use them as lifestyle trucks, and people will use this as lifestyle trucks either. Spend a lot of money on just a totally, pimped out truck with all the options that you would never want to have in a work truck because you'd destroy them. But people buy those, and that's going to be a big market segment going forward. So it's interesting. Now, one of the things that's also another unique feature of the CyberTruck is the ramp door. You saw that. I don't know if it's going to be an option. I don't know if it's going to be standard. We know that the ATV that goes with it is an option to buy with the truck. I don't know if they'll say they'll make it separate. They haven't said yet. But we also have a group on Facebook for the Tesla, the ATV, the what's it called? Something, not CyberTruck, CyberQuad, all one word. That's our Facebook group. Check it out. But I don't know if that ramp door is standard or not. Anybody knows, let me know. But I have a feeling it's going to break. And I commented on this on the initial unveiling video when I saw that, because I have used ramp doors with my previous Toyota Tundra. I used it for driving up machines like lawnmowers, heavier commercial lawnmowers, kind of the same type of a weight as a ATV four-wheeler. And they work great initially, but then they start to weaken, they start to bend, they don't close right anymore, and you realize the whole thing's bending, and then it's going to break or bend so much you won't be able to use it anymore, or even close the tailgate after a while. That's been my experience. So I don't know what kind of metal they're making these things out of, but I would not have very many high hopes about this ramp door. Just remember I said that, and like I said, I also said that the first night it was unveiled, because I have enough experience with those to know that unless there's some kind of amazing feat of engineering that they've done, or they're using some ridiculous, maybe they are using some SpaceX space alloy, I don't know, maybe they are. And if they are, then I'll eat my words. But I see that thing breaking. That's what I see. I see it breaking. The tonneau cover too, that could break. If it's got solar panels on it, that could break. All right, the CyberQuad, if you get that option, that's another unique feature of this truck. Of course, you get an electric four-wheeler, and that's a huge, huge light years step above what's out there on the market today, because what's out there now is just loud, obnoxious, smelly, polluting, everything else you can think of, and the electric CyberQuad will be none of that. So that's amazing. I don't know how much it's going to cost. If you guys know how much it's going to cost, let me know. What do you think, $5,000? Let me know in the comments. All right, the Vault tonneau cover to lock the bed. Yeah, we talked about that. Solar option to add 15 miles a day. We talked about that. I wonder how much that's going to cost, if that's even worth doing. But if you do park outside a lot, I would think it would probably be worth it. But you have to park outside. And, excuse me, as you know, things wear out when you park them in the sun for a while. So you really got to be able to use that, I think, for it to make sense. Unless they've driven the cost down a lot. With the partnering with what was it? Solar company now. I can't remember the name of the solar company. But anyway, that was a really bad merger. I think it really affected Tesla negatively. But maybe they're going to merge technologies like this together to do something at a really low cost. Just maybe the SpaceX will provide special metals. Solar City, that's what it is. Solar City will provide the panels and reduce manufacturing costs. That remains to be seen. All right, now let's go on to the supercharger thing I was talking about. That we need a new generation of superchargers to be launched along with this truck, and Elon Musk didn't mention anything about it. All right, now there's a number of things that are concerning here, and this is going to be, I'd say everything else is great. If you can get by the design, I think the design will grow on you, but this is the major concern that was not addressed in my mind, is how are these things going to be charged? Now, keep in mind, if you have a non-commercial used regular vehicle, most people don't really even need the supercharging network unless you're taking it on a long-distance trip, and most people don't do that very often. I mean, I'm the exception to that. But I'd say that most people will just be better off charging at their house, especially if they have to pay for the use of Tesla's superchargers. I don't have to pay either, so that's a nice thing. But if you do have to pay, Tesla said they don't want to make any money off of these things, but they've also really nicely raised the prices that they charge people when you have to pay at these superchargers. When you gotta pay for it, it's probably twice as much as it would be to get the same electricity pumped into your car at home. All right, so just consider that. If you're using a lot of electricity, that could be a thing. However, you'll find that even definitely when you charge at home, you're probably gonna spend about half as much on fuel or electric costs as you would on an ICE vehicle. But if you're going to superchargers and paying, it may be the same. Now, remember, these new generation of superchargers are going to have to be drive-through. They're going to be wider, longer, just like gas stations or fueling stations that you see today. They're going to have to be like that. And maybe as the transition to EV takes over, gas stations will go out of business. And when they do, then these chargers will replace them. And it should be fairly easy to swap out. Unless the ground is contaminated by fuel spills, who knows? All right, now, except for one thing we need to talk about here is the supercharger fair use policy. I've talked about this before. I'm going to make another video about it in the near future. The fair use policy is not, there's no Tesla vehicles before the end of 2017 that are affected by it, but everything after that, and I'm not sure if it's resales. I can't remember if it's original date of manufacture or resale. I think it may not affect resales. It may just be the original date of manufacture or delivery of your vehicle. Had to be before the end of 2017. As long as it was, you're not affected by this. But the fair use policy basically makes it illegal for you to use Tesla superchargers if you are using this for any type of commercial or non-personal use, even with an organization, with a business, with ride sharing, with taking around passengers, transportation services. These trucks can be used for all types of commercial purposes. So right now, it sounds like unless Tesla comes out with some kind of specific policy, and I'm sure they will, for these new generation of superchargers or for the CyberTruck, that these Cybertrucks are not going to be able to use Tesla superchargers, and that would be a major, major negative, okay? Now, I think that they will come up with a policy that's going to make sense, maybe specifically for the Cybertruck or specifically for the new generation of chargers that won't apply to the older generation. I don't know. And actually, that's another concern. I just got an idea about that. If they're going to do drive-through chargers in their new generation, their new policies, I wonder if I will be grandfathered in to get electricity from those when towing a trailer. I wonder. I don't know. But I'm sure they're already thinking about that. I'm sure Elon Musk has already thought about that. He's usually like 10 steps ahead of everybody else. So they're going to have to come up with something clever, and I'm sure that they will. And like I said, I kind of wonder how that's going to affect me. But I will be doing a separate video here on the fair use policy for superchargers and the next gen versions of superchargers and those types of things. There's a lot to be talked about here. There's so many unknowns that we just are not going to know for a period of time, and they will be revealed to us over time, I'm sure. But for right now, the only people that these policies apply to is anyone that's taken delivery or bought their car after the end of 2017. Tesla can shut you down, make it so you can't use these superchargers anymore. And anybody towing a trailer like me, these are the people that are are going to be affected most by whatever they announce. So we'll see what they say, and it'll be interesting. All right, you may have noticed on the launch that there was a video that showed an F-150 and a Tesla Cybertruck doing a tug of war. And I guess Tesla didn't really put their foot down initially, but when they did, they just yanked that F-150 all the way out of there. And further analysis of the video with the major Tesla Cybertruck win showed that the F-150, I think, was only two-wheel drive. They didn't say what the specs were on the Cybertruck. And initially after that, I think after reeling over that for like a day or two, Ford executives came out, somebody on their Twitter account, and said, hey, we want to have a rematch on this. We want to do it fairly. And I think that Elon Musk quickly responded and said, sure, let's set that up. And right after that, Ford came back and said, oh, yeah, we were just joking, basically. I can't remember the exact language they used, but they're not going to do a rematch. Now, why? Okay, I would love to see a rematch. I would love to see something that's done equally, something that's done that everyone considers fair, that everyone considers an equal match, that everyone gets to watch what happens. I would love to see that. I'm sure some YouTubers will do that. Maybe I will do it. Get me a Cybertruck and equal F-150 or any other Silverado, Dodge truck, whatever, I would love to do that. Love to see what happens. But I think we already know by that response that Ford cannot compete. Okay, that's my takeaway from that. Is that's just another level probably that Ford's not going to be able to compete with these electric trucks, and that's a sad thing to say, but it's probably true. And if they're not willing to do something like this with Tesla, for a truck that doesn't even, Tesla's not even going to launch for another 2 years. I don't understand why they wouldn't want to do that. It'd be good publicity for both of them. They could have a good rivalry, but I think Ford is afraid, and that's why they're not going to do it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Hassan Raja, give me the little laughing teary thing. And somebody else, the guy from India there, guy, girl, whoever you are, I'm not sure you are, you're a mechanic. Do you ever work on electric cars? Let us know in the comments if you do. All right, I'm losing my voice. I don't usually talk this long in a row. All right. All right, now, what happened? Was this successful? Was the launch successful? Well, everybody's talking about it, obviously. Our Facebook group, and like I said, just go in the title of this video, go over to the right, click on that, or copy paste it. That'll take you straight to our Facebook group. Join it. I'll approve you as soon as I finish making this live video. You'll get approved right away. But our Facebook group is blown up. I think we had like 800 people the day before that launch, and now we're at like almost 4,500 people. So that is a huge, huge increase, and just people keep joining every day. There's all types of conversations going in there, sharing the funny memes, guesses on what things are going to happen, any kind of inside information. All of that's being shared in the group, so be sure you get in that group, and let me know in the comments if you've joined. Just say I've joined if you joined the group, and like I said, tag some of your friends here in this video if they think they should join the group. Just tag them wherever you're watching this, and then they can get that URL and they can go join the group too. And like I said, I'll approve them today. And if you're watching this later, same thing. I'm constantly approving things. All right, it was a success. You know why? Because that last count, I don't even know what the count is right now. They're way over 250,000 pre-orders. Okay, that is an amazing number of pre-orders. Now, in the past, when Tesla did pre-orders for other models, they used a different method to get these pre-orders and get the money in. They used a refundable deposit. I think it was like $1,000 or something like that. If you got a Model 3 and you did that, let me know in the comments, or Model Y. But they didn't do it this time. From what I understand, they have a much lower amount, which is $100. You can tell I have not ordered a CyberTruck. Much lower amount, $100, but it's not refundable. It's applied to your order, but if you don't want to go through with it, you lose $100. There's been a lot of misinformation communicated about this, a lot of confusion, but that's what my understanding of how it works is that you pay $100, which is reasonable, very reasonable, to reserve some amazing truck that's going to capture everybody's attention. And like I said, every business is going to wrap that thing with what and all their logos, and it's going to be all over the road. People watching it. It's a great deal for them, and it's a great deal if you only have to put $100 down. So that means, now we're just guessing 250K plus. It could be almost 300,000 orders by now. Who knows? And of course, people will cancel. But even though they canceled, I think that's about at least or around $15 million in cash to Tesla. Cash money in their account to do whatever they want with. And they have not delivered one single truck. And they will not do that for another 2 years probably. Okay? That's an amazing success. And then if they actually ultimately sell all these vehicles that they're going to sell, we don't know what the ultimate sales prices are going to be, but it could probably be about $10 billion in sales, I'm guessing, with what they have now. And again, we don't know the exact number that they have right now. That's an amazing, amazing product launch in 11 days. They've already, they're already sold that many vehicles. That's just crazy. So that was a huge success. Now I'm running out of things to talk about. So if you have a few more things that you want me to touch on, let me know right now in the comments. Go to adigitalnomad.net, go to the live stream video, and type your comment in right now, because I'm almost out of time. The last thing that's really going to hurt trucks, American branded trucks, and this is mainly about the United States, because these are big trucks. And this is like the big cash cow for GM and Ford and Dodge, are these parts bin technology, more like dinosaur type vehicles, which is what they are. And Tesla's going head to head with them. And if you didn't like or care about anything else I said in this video, be sure that you do know that the operating cost, the cost to own, the cost to own and operate, when I say operate, I mean fuel or electric, man, my voice is going bad, or parts that wear out and break. Teslas already have way fewer parts on them. I think they got like half the number of parts of a regular car, even the most complicated Model X like mine. And they are much more reliable. The motors are more reliable. The batteries are more reliable. Everything's more reliable. So, and they last longer. Tesla will probably have their million-mile batteries and motors out if they don't already, because I think the Model 3 motors and batteries may be designed to do that already. So that's an amazing thing if you think about it. You can get that much mileage. 100,000 miles not too long ago was, most people thought when you got to that you might as well just drive your car into the junkyard or see if anyone is willing to buy it. I've already got like almost 120,000 on my Model X, and it's going great. No problems that are anything major, I would say, to deal with that are making me think that it's at or near the end of its useful life. Not even close. Not even close. So the parts are going to break less compared to ICE vehicles, ICE trucks, and the fueling costs are going to be less. Like I said, if you charge this thing at home, and most people do, unless you're doing it for commercial use, then you will need a solution, as we touched on earlier in this video. You're going to have to find a solution, and I'm sure Elon Musk has already got that thought of. He's probably thought about that 3 years ago, and he will launch it at some point. But if you're charging at home, I don't think anybody's going to be getting free supercharging on this truck. That's the other thing. Don't think that's ever going to happen again. That's for early adopters, and I've got other videos on that too if you want to learn about that. But if you consider the length of the life of the vehicle, the lack of maintenance and repairs, because Tesla is now saying that their vehicles require no maintenance. Of course, you got to change wiper blades and tires, but outside of that, there's no other scheduled maintenance on the vehicle. And then the parts last longer. It's the electrical. The cost to run the thing is half the cost of what it would be. Now that might change. Okay, right now we're saying half the cost. That's what I'm saying. For an equivalent ICE vehicle to get an equivalent electrical, and I wouldn't even put Rivian as an equivalent full-size truck because it's not equivalent with a 4.5-foot bed. It's going to cost you half as much to put electrons in those batteries. And that may change over time because I've done videos on this in the past, I will again in the future. There's no road tax being paid by electric vehicles right now. It's part of the subsidizing of people to adopt these vehicles into their daily lives and get them on the roads. But they will have to add road taxes into electricity at some point. I don't know how it's going to be done. I don't know if people who are grandfathered in on free supercharging get that paid for. I don't know if I have to pay for it. I don't know what that's going to mean because you figure a gallon of gasoline in most places, I'm just guessing from what I remember, but I think it's like 40 cents on a gallon of gasoline is taxes, or maybe more than that. And we're talking about, let's say, $2 a gallon. You may not be able to find it for $2 a gallon. Let's say 50 cents on $2 a gallon, 25% of that is taxed. So if you is actual tax. So if you are having a 50% cost reduction by using electric and you add another 25%, that means you're at 75% of what it would be to fuel an ICE vehicle. So that narrows as the road taxes get put onto the electric vehicles. And that's a whole other video. It's a whole other thing we'll be talking about. But anyway, that's it. You guys want to know anything more about the CyberTruck? Let me know in the comments. I can't talk anymore. I don't even know how long I've been talking, but I cannot talk anymore. So we have to end this video. And please join the group. Look in the title of the video. Go all the way to the right. It's a bit.ly link. You can copy paste it. You can type it in. You can do whatever. Let me show you what that group looks like again, so you can see. And I've got all kinds of funny looking pictures and weird stuff going on in those groups. It's a really entertaining group. A lot of people are using the group. So go ahead and take advantage of it. Have fun. Learn about the Cybertruck. There you go. Tesla Cybertruck pickup truck worldwide. That is the group. And you can, yeah, that's how you tell it's us. And how many people are in it? 4,400 plus members, almost 4,500. So thanks so much for watching. And look forward to seeing how this whole thing plays out over the next 2 years before the first one gets delivered. And we'll be making lots more videos, I'm sure, about the Cybertruck. Have a great day. Bye.